Hey gang, so here at the Madness Table, we are beyond excited to be sponsored by Homie and the Dude as they promote their Kickstarter project, The Wandering Tavern. Now, you're probably wondering, what is that? Well, The Wandering Tavern is a system-agnostic floating TTRPG setting with optional D&D5e stats included. It's packed full of plot hooks, mysteries, threats, and everything you need for a campaign. However, if you already have an established world or setting, you can perfectly fit this in for your players to visit, take a load off, and delve into a whole new sort of adventure. You get to explore this immense, soaring city full of battle maps that detail its every nook and cranny. You get to delve deep into the devious underbelly of the tavern while getting to know its wide range of unique NPC patrons and staff. And while there are many dark mysteries and entangled truths that are yours to unlock. And while you're traversing this vast metropolis, use remarkable magic items to protect yourselves from the twisted spirits stalking the halls. However, if you have to escape, you can glide through uncharted skies on never-before-seen zephyrs constructed from a plethora of brand new parts and stations. Now, Kickstarter backers of the Wandering Tavern will also receive a free subscription to their shipbuilder webpage application. Now, this builder allows you to create dream airships of your choosing where you can mix and match over 200 parts. 200 parts and stations with even more on the way for endless combinations. And once you're done, it then provides a full custom airship D&D5e compatible stat block. Can't get any better than that. Truly, gang, this is a wonderful addition, and we've had the pleasure of perusing some of their sample materials. And some of our favorites include featured real recipes from the Wandering Tavern made by a real outstanding chef. And you get to make those for your friends and family to feel just even a little more immersed in the settings of the tavern. Now, that shipbuilder is no joke. It's incredibly hardcore with so many choices and really fine details. The battle maps are extensive. It's not a joke, and they cover every layer of the tavern. And those layers even come with great backstories as to how they were constructed, what happens there, who stays there. And you don't always get all that wonderful flavor text, but that will surely help you as a DM running this story for your players. They even have interesting illicit substances, ghost wards, amongst many other magic items. And of course, they've nailed the Studio Ghibli vibes. We've certainly become big supporters of their project. We hope that y'all check it out and consider supporting them too. And make sure to follow our custom Madness Table link in the description to back this Kickstarter now. So thank you, everyone, and I won't delay from this week's episode of The Madness Table.
Hello, Voidfarer. As you pierce the veil into our world, you will notice several fantastical things for you to ponder in your orb and or cell phone device. You may see the high-quality podcast that you can access wherever fine products are found. You can like, follow, and subscribe all things The Madness Table on social media outlets such as Instagram for millennials, Facebook for Gen X, and TikTok for the Zoomers. And if that's not enough, you can tell somebody about our podcast or leave a positive review. All negative reviews must include the name Brendan, otherwise they will be deleted. And if that's not enough, join us on our coffee page, where you can contribute monetary sums to drop a coin to your witchers. I mean, to give us the monies to make the podcast go burr. It takes money for the podcast to go burr. Anyway,
Burr.
Voidfarer out.
Well, wow. Good Lord. We always love seeing Tony, the Voidfarer, come through and just bring in the announcements for everybody. So a round of applause for Tony. Thank you. Thank you for coming
Make that
by.
podcast go burr.
Make that podcast go burr. Well, big stuff happened last time. You guys managed to make your way to the small goblin camp where you had met up with Rotmud and Quilzen and all the others, you had taken the time to kind of better inform yourselves with the help of everybody in this camp on what's going on. Who are these people that they were going to reach out for help? And you landed upon trying to reach out with the now absent black dragon Delkvir, who lived to the north in the swamps, but hadn't been seen for about 2 or so weeks. After resting, you guys decided to head north through the night under careful guidance of one of the others. And after, I believe I had said 6 hours, you had made it to the ancient ruins that beneath dwells Delkvir. And with the clever use of some spells, you managed to identify that they were there, but something about their presence was twisted. And as you descended into the ruins, you came across an illusionary wall and parted the vines and roots to see a semi-flooded chamber with a torn-apart, desiccated black dragon skeleton sitting upon a very large hoard. And amidst on the this hoard, and on the very pinnacle of it, sits this semi-bejeweled scabbard and sword. And swirling above it was this will-o'-the-wisp-esque figure that then expanded into this phantasmal dragon, to which it has kind of greeted you. It kind of poses itself in a defensive position, this ghostly dragon, over its hoard. And it is a huge creature. Its edges of its figure kind of wave and disappear. And it's got this greenish, dark black hue, and it still resembles that of a black dragon to your eyes. What do you guys do here?
Well, above the table, I was not expecting him to be a ghost dragon. That was not on my bingo card. So I think Artomis might be a little bit like, well, hello, are you Delkvir? The dragon?
That I was and am.
So past tense a bit there. Are you? Well, okay. Oh, stepping back here. You're still Delkvir, the Black Dragon. Yes.
Yes.
This is just a shot in the dark here, but do you have any particular grudges against anyone calling themselves the River King?
I know of no figure that calls themselves the River King. But if you refer to that saurian abomination that infested my home, then yes. I know this River King.
Darkcolor gives Sephel and Scylla a thumbs up, like, all right. Well, we don't like him either. We have that in common. Yes. Would you like to?
Oh, wonderful. We have a common hate. But why are you here?
And it grows larger, and it flurls these spectral wings.
Sephel, can dragons just get bigger like this?
I'm my backlog of knowledge excludes dragons in past tense. So anything's up for grabs, I guess.
Well, we were wondering if you want to do a team up, like where we went and we killed the dragon together. Or not the dragon, the other thing. Yeah, so I got real distracted.
Mean that.
dragon do you mean to slay?
My
No,
associate has stuck his greave in his mouth. We wish to form a temporary, mutually beneficial alliance to rid your swamp of the River King, so that you may rule it in death as you did in life.
Yes, what he said.
Because of the dragon killing statement, the DC is a little bit higher unless someone wants to say something
Shocking.
else.
Shocking.
But I'm going to need a persuasion check.
Scylla will step forward, and she is going to like look in the creature's eyes and do a bow at her waist without dropping eye contact and step forward. You are the Lord of the Swamp? And as she asks it, she will drop eye contact and look down at her feet and wait for the response.
And this spectral head comes down very close to you, and you can just smell sulfur, rotten eggs. It's horrible. Make a Constitution saving throw.
I am decent at these.
Damn,
I believe you
even
are.
As an incorporeal being, his breath is bad.
10.
Okay, it's all right. You manage to, like, you can feel yourself kind of gag a little bit with this smell, but it goes,
Proper subservience. Yes, I am lord of this swamp, even in death.
I would bow to all who are more powerful and in positions of leadership in an area which I am traveling.
A sentiment that does not seem to carry with your companions.
Apologies, they speak out of turn at times. And she kind of like looks at you both like, bow.
Starcaller will catch the vibe and bend the knee.
Forgive my ancient arthritis. And I will bow.
Classic tentacle arthritis, man. It's every time.
It'll get you.
let's see here. Andrew, Delkvir has rolled an insight check as he sees you take a moment here to go down. What do you think? And I rolled an 18 for a total of a 20. Do you want to roll a deception check to try and oppose how Starcaller might be feeling in the fact that he's bending the knee to another being?
I would love to.
Okay.
Roll high, my friend.
Also a 20. Dirty.
Ooh. So I think what happens here is Scylla's kneeling, Sephel slowly kneels or bows, Vlad and Vasana do as well. They're a little bit behind you guys. And Delkvir's spectral head just kind of floats over everybody watching with these kind of blazing green eyes. And then finally it just kind of comes and cranes its head in front of Artomis. And I imagine, but you tell me, that it's just like staring you dead in the eye as you are probably taking the knee, as there's almost this standoff or like a challenge of wills here.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just like looking him dead in his eyes, and it's like so hard to tell. Is he bowing or is he like getting ready to pounce?
Yeah. To which I think you see this kind of snarl / smile spread over Delkvir's face, and he eventually pulls away from you, Artemis, and he kind of flies back in this wisp-like form to the top of his hoard here. He goes,
Good. Good. Yes. What could you offer me for my assistance against this usurper of my swamp?
As players, we did not discuss this.
discuss it now.
Sure
Discuss it
didn't.
now.
But I remember last session, we learned a couple things, like he collects ancient artifacts from old civilizations.
Mm-hmm.
So we give him Sephel.
Interesting.
That's one way to put it. You could say the same for Vlad then.
I mean,
give him the child. No.
I feel like child trafficking might not look great in our resume.
yeah, right.
I kind of.
I
All
have
right,
an
this
idea.
is like Starcaller's play, and I think it'll go about as well as it sounds. But what we have to offer him is his kingdom back, which I don't know if his current point of view would preclude that as proper payment.
I mean, that was very much what I was attempting not to say, because if we just come in being like, we're doing you a favor, that might not go well.
I also don't know how interested he is because he's dead. So I you know what I mean? Like,
And he's pretty prideful about it.
Yeah, I think dragons are vain enough that if they have any amount of sentience, they think they hold power over the area they're in.
You know, guys, we could just kill the dragon and go on to these other guys, you know?
If it goes poorly, yes, that is an
How
option.
hard could it be? He's already dead.
Potentially harder.
so I was thinking the scary eyeball robe might be
Ooh.
an ancient item.
Oh, the robe from the Pudding King, you mean?
Yeah. To me, that feels like it might hit the spot.
That's a good one.
That's great.
I mean, are they only interested in, I know that's their bread and butter, but are they interested in, any artifact, or does it specifically have to be from an ancient civilization?
What you recall from your last check was Black Dragons specifically love items from lost civilizations. Doesn't necessarily have to be ancient, but anything lost or this isn't something that you could pick up necessarily somewhere else anymore. The other thing is they do love regular gold and types of treasure, specifically amongst gems. They love pearls and opals. And you can see, actually, we'll do a couple checks here because you guys are smart. I think you would everybody make a perception check here.
I mean, Scylla's got all sorts of stuff from the Naute, which would absolutely check all the boxes. She's just not willing to give it up.
Sure.
Perception, nat 20, total 24.
Nice.
Perception, nat 1, total 0.
Love that. Scylla's
flex.
fully playing the part of the subservience right now, Sephel.
Riding the high middle, 16 for a total of 16.
Okay. You, Sephel, as you're looking at this giant horde underneath this spectral dragon and what remains of its carcass, and buried in the dirt and the muck and some overgrowing vegetation, you think that there is at least amongst the coins and small bits of unruined art, well close to almost 200,000 gold pieces here. You see tons of platinum, tons of gold, you see a handful of what look like priceless art objects. You, Artemis, see that there is an old quiver filled with like incredible silver looking arrows. You see a couple of you see a large potion that you would recognize as a healing potion, but it's very large and grand looking. You also see a almost like I hate to use it, but because our audio listeners, but like my decanter, it's like a ship captain's decanter. You see a bottle like this that has this beautiful cloudy blue liquid in it. You see a very nice long spear that has got a finely wrought haft and a large point. You think it's some kind of pike, perhaps. And then you see that the most stunning piece from which Delkvir seems to almost kind of caress with its spectral claws is that bejeweled scabbard and sword hilt. It's finer than anything that you've seen. I will say, because of the checks here from Sephel and Artomis, both of you make intelligence checks, history specifically, or Arcana. I'll give you either one of those.
Nice. 26.
26, great. Start caller.
9.
Okay. Sephel, something strikes you about the sword that sits there. And it's specifically about the gems. You see that there are some missing from the hilt of this sword. You see that there are some missing from the scabbards. But you realize that there's sockets for these gems. And these gems that do remain are very finely cut. And within them seem to swirl something familiar. And then you realize that this sword must be of deep gnome make, and all those gems in it are spell gems. So this is absolutely priceless in its own right.
Yep.
The other thing you would know, considering this check, and as you watch Delkvir kind of sit over the horde, and you guys are kind of thinking about this in your own right, you recall in your numerous studies back in the Arcanarium that a ghostly dragon does not form unless it has an incredibly strong attachment to its horde. And that horde is a singular, priceless object is what binds it amongst its horde to the land of the living still. However, it can still have effects on the corporeal world. So there's a bunch of new knowledge for you guys. Feel free to use that in your deliberations here as to how you want to do this, or proceed or not.
I mean, Sam, not that I'm suggesting, but what all does Scylla have from the Naute? Other than...
Whoa,
I know.
buddy!
We're laying stuff out here.
Asking some big questions. She's got the timepiece of travel.
Yeah, that's not happening.
She's got Caliburn over my dead body.
Yeah.
And then
it might be.
The third item is her title chains. Which I would be very sad about. But if we needed to, absolutely would be willing to sacrifice them.
Let's call that final option.
Okay. Scary eyeball robe, though. Nobody wants that, so that was like the first.
No, that's a good pitch. I'm still sitting on these fucking horseshoes of the Zephyr that I got.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes. Yes, I do. I've had nothing to do with them, and
Why
You
don't
like,
we
never
put
tried
those
to
on
sell
sale?
them either?
no.
Yeah.
Who would buy something that is used for beasts of burden? Now we might have a good chance to, but we haven't run into a lot of beasts of burden in the
Mhm.
Underdark, so there aren't a lot of people that would probably recognize their
Yeah.
value.
Them gnomes had them deep rothe, so, you know, just as a mystery.
We didn't see them a lot. I wasn't fucking paying attention half the time. I was dead.
It's fair.
Do we think that the horseshoes of Zephyr are like applicable?
I mean, they're definitely it's a wondrous item. It's very rare. So like that's why I was asking if it has to exclusively be from lost
Right.
civilizations, because I don't think this ticks that box. But it is an
Maybe-
artifact.
Maybe we just like try that first.
Well, the other thing I was going to offer him, and this is a stretch, because I'm sure dragons prefer physical things to hoard over. But I haven't tested it a lot, but I happen to have a orb that has some sort of sight into the past of the astral plane.
That sounds important for
I mean, I'm not going to give it to him. It would basically be like, my thought is I can offer you knowledge that no man on this plane has of a civilization that likely no longer stands.
Interesting.
It's a long shot, but
Yeah.
it's the pitch that I have.
And
that's
Oh,
3.
wait. The Triton are potentially a lost civilization. I have a Trident that was Triton in nature. They were all
The
killed
Underdark
by-
Triton, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fair.
You know, this is going to be a pretty great episode of Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And the dragon is the appraiser coming by your
Yeah.
table.
See, the value is really what you place on it, right? Like,
Yeah, right. There's a
At
lot of value on
auction,
everything.
I think this one fetch maybe 2 gold. So
listen,
no.
I've got a guy. Can you wait here like 5 minutes? I'll go
my
get
God.
him.
now it turned into Pawn Stars.
Yeah, it always
Yeah.
does. It always does.
Always does. I mean, I
Okay.
think we try for the idea where we give knowledge and don't have to give up many items.
Okay.
And when that inevitably fails, we offer something.
I mean, we have
Sure.
like the knowledge, we have the Zephyr stuff, we
Yeah.
have the Cloak of Eyes, and the Trident. I think in that order.
Okay. Okay. Great. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
killed first.
Oh. I could sell him, baby. Come on, let me add him. Let me add him.
I mean, sure.
Let's start going.
You want to be my auctioneer?
I do. That's all.
Let's
I want.
do it, baby. I make a show of it. I like still on my knee. I'll like go over to Artomis and like whisper this in his ear.
Artemis rises with a bit of aplomb. Lord Delkvir of this dread marsh, Lord of the many rivers and the lapping depths. I, Artemis Starkharla, Swarthorn of Malatair, Dragon of Deep, and Scion of the Kingdom of Ember.
Don't
come
have
before
more
you
titles
for-
than him.
Fuck. Trade proposal. For your aid in the battle to cleanse your lands of the foul stench of the Pretender King. We offer you knowledge that no man nor dragon possesses on this plane. A look into the astral orb, that you may see what has never yet been made known to any upon this wondrous earth.
What wondrous speeches you now have.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. I'll do that.
13.
Where is this orb that shows the unknown and unseen?
Just like looks at Sephel.
I will open the head of the staff, and the outer shell sort of swirls down around the haft of the stave, while the phylactery shimmers with this nebulous light.
Delkvir in ghostly form kind of stalks down his horde towards you until he stretches his long ghostly head and stares at this orb and goes,
You would give me this orb, yet it seems to come with more. What is
and it
Forgive.
takes this long nail and kind of strokes down the staff and goes,
Sephel like shivers as he feels his bones start to like scrape down his back.
What is this exquisite stuff?
Oh, that is but our friend's walking device and something I believe you took off a crazy guy, if I heard the story right.
His intelligence was in question, but it is very useful to my day-to-day. You will forgive my friend's pitch. The gift that I give you is the knowledge. The staff would remain with me.
and its body kind of slinks around you, wrapping himself around you till his very large spectral head is right beside yours, like that large mouth just kind of snapping in your ear. And it kind of, he speaks to you softly.
Do you think I don't know how much more to this walking stick there is? I can feel the power running through it. Knowledge,
Wow, nice. And you can feel like this hazy pressure against your robes as like this one large ghostly claw comes closer and is like dragging itself up and down near your form and the staff.
I would have more to add to my collection. A mere glimpse is not enough for the power I could give you.
Well, then you have yourselves the right adventurers, as we come with many more glorious items more useful than a mere stave. Behold,
Go ahead.
the horseshoes of the Zephyr. A very rare magic item that is you could put on a horse and make it very fast. I didn't actually read the fine print on this one, but I'm told it's the most valuable item in our kit.
Make a deception check.
Scylla has stepped forward and is, because this dragon is wrapped around him, he's like right there.
Oh yeah, he's got his eyes on you too. He's watching everybody. You said 19, Andrew?
Mhm.
Okay. His draconic ghostly head turns towards you, Artomis.
No. It is most certainly not. I can smell all you hold. And there is something deliciously dark that one of you,
He begins looking around at you all.
holds. I will take your knowledge. But I want what seems to flow and watch all.
Scylla, I believe you're up.
She will look surprised at that, as I am. And she will reach into the bag of holding and pull out the end of the cloak.
Yes, that filthy, dark-seeped piece. I want it.
She will hold it, not completely pull it out. We would make this trade if you are willing to assist. You would agree to that?
Scylla, are you wearing your chains?
Yeah, I'm wearing the chains and Caliburn.
Okay. He turns his head towards you and sniffs the cloak and then cocks his head and looks at the chains, and then it begins to like swirl about you.
You carry many fine pieces that I have not seen before. What fine additions they would make.
These items will not be up for trade. Not because I do not believe you would value them, and perhaps they would even find a place of honor in your hoard, but because these items have a future purpose to grow their lore and to grow their value. These items will be worth more in the coming years as we save both the Underdark and the plane we reside currently.
You do not believe in the power of a dragon's hoard, do you? Any treasure that sits here amongst my own gathers strength from myself and all others collected. Their lore would grow more than just in your hands with me. They would become legends in their own right.
I think Scylla, she just kind of like puts a hand on one of the title chains that I think wraps around her torso when she's not using it. Or I'm sorry, it's a ring, isn't it? It's a ring. So she like
They're
thumps
bracelets.
The ring.
They're
bracelets. Thank you, Jesus. She like fingers one on her wrist, and then these are not available for trade.
And you're still holding the cloak, right?
Yeah. She's like, the corner of it is out of the bag. And I think as there's some hesitation, she might take a small step back. If you are not interested in the cloak, we will leave.
Oh no, I am quite interested in it.
And you can see he's almost playing kind of coy now.
The knowledge and the cloak are something worthy of a trade. But my power and my gifts have limits. Without more. But I would hear what kind of aid you would have of me.
Oh. We've got
And
the upper hand, friends.
He slinks back to his hoard and kind of lays down upon it, and he almost kind of like shimmies his body like he could slink down into the coins again, but you see nothing moves. And he just kind of crosses his forelimbs and stares at you all.
So, what are we feeling? We didn't talk
Team-
about this either.
Team huddle, team huddle.
Yeah.
I suppose we are a little caught off guard that you have passed. We were inquiring after the aid of a live dragon. This complicates the situation, obviously.
Indeed, it would seem that you have lost some power based on your incorporeal state. What are you capable of?
No. I have not lost much of anything.
You seem
In
to have
fact,
lost all of
this-
your subservience.
Oh, more can be gathered. Fleshling. I could create new ones now if I wanted to.
Interesting.
How would you care to be my servant forever?
I feel my gifts would be wasted on you.
I think you should pass.
Oh,
I would also say no.
if you doubt my power, you can leave.
I do not doubt your power at all. Simply question your area of effect.
Those that doubt have no need for my help. You may go.
Scylla's like looking at Starcaller and Sephel like, what do we ask for?
Artomis will step forward. I believe our ask is quite simple, actually. You will aid us in battle against the Pretender King. In exchange, you receive the knowledge and the cloak.
Scylla will whip out the cloak to tempt the dragon. So it'll flick.
Do you have a plan for finding this River King? Would you have it come here to my lair once again?
I think that would
What
be...
is your full plan?
yes, the plan.
Yes, quite simple. We wish to lure the River King into a place of our advantage, onto the dry land where he cannot skulk beneath the water. This would do nicely, I do believe.
And the closer to your lair, I assume the more control over the area you have.
So this is more than just a gift from my horde you seek, or me to join you on a foreign field. You would have me risk my home, my treasures, to end this beast. Do I understand you correctly?
You give mixed messages. You take offense that we would doubt your power. Yet if your power was not in question, it would not be a risk to fight the River King nearby.
Oh, I do not fear for myself, merely my possessions. You see, I have them just as I wish, and to see them scattered, well, I cannot move them, would be a crime punishable by death to all involved.
You could fight him outside.
That is what I mean.
It doesn't have to be in this chamber.
His head turns upwards.
These ruins are old, but the land could serve. Well, albeit not entirely large, we are surrounded by the waters. It could slip back in. How would you contain the beast? What could you do to incense it enough that it would not fall away?
I was just thinking we'd kill all its lizard folk servants, but I don't really know if it likes them very much.
So we're thinking that this creature might flee if it thinks it's losing? Is that what we're thinking?
That's what Delkvir's asking you, because you said you don't want it. Artemis said, well, we get it out of the water. That should be pretty helpful.
Right.
So Delkvir is asking you, if you're going to fight here on his island, how are you going to prevent it from possibly retreating into the water where it has both a better advantage or could run?
Got it. Do you know what the River King... It seemed to be very attracted to any of us when we were in the water. Do you know if it is attracted to movement, blood? Does it consume?
Yes, all three. It seems more a mindless beast, drawn by its hunger. It just wishes to consume, so it would seem, both the parasite within it and the former creature that it was.
Then if it slips back into the water, we serve as a lure. You offer your island, and perhaps risk your hoard. We offer our bodies to abate that risk.
You would give your body if any of my hoard be disturbed?
You twist my words, Worm. I merely claimed that we would use our bodies to lure the creature away, should it begin to put your hoard at risk.
For my island, which does have the most suitable ground within the swamps, you may have it for the cloak. As for my direct involvement, I would need something more. Something quite lovely. You may have time to ponder what I offer you, should you need. But be careful should you wander the swamps for too long.
Can I just pause? I love how I did that little chuckle, and then at the bottom of Sans screen, I just see a little paw just reach up and then slowly sink down. Because all I could think was like, if Delkvir was close to you, he would totally be doing that claw thing, and it was great.
That's so funny. It's Cheeto.
What are you guys thinking as a party, as players? What's going through your heads right now?
We gotta give him something.
I'm driving a hard bargain here.
Yeah,
I know I am.
This dude's just fucking ringing us for whatever he can get. We can only call his bluff so much, though, without it turning into a thing.
He can't have Dawn's Edge.
I
Okay.
might be willing to part with the Robe of Stars, but I will tell you there is a 50-50 chance that I come for him after this to get it back.
I was about to say there's some shit Starcaller goes through, so to give up something is rough.
Yeah.
And for it to be extorted out of him must be so much worse.
I also have to say if a Catman can sweat, which I am not going to get into the physics of right now, he is looking at this pile of gold and he is sweating bullets.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm also going to throw something wild out there cuz that's just what I do.
I will also say I'm surprised Scylla is being very forthcoming with items considering some of your history as well.
Whoa. I have.
Yeah, she's
I'm not
actually
taking
handling
sad
this
thoughts
social
here.
situation way better than us.
She is. She respects authority.
Uh-huh.
She respects power.
Respects power, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Wild idea. Scylla, you give me the timepiece. I can offer myself as collateral.
Mm.
What?
And
Like,
then you want to. And you
I
want to bounce out.
I have the most means to teleport away. So I could offer my servitude.
Okay. So the intelligence 20 character
Uh-huh.
is
No.
also
No.
is also watching the betrayal of the undead dragon.
Brendan is pitching the betrayal of the undead dragon, not the int 20 character. I'm just throwing out, we don't have a lot of stuff that he wants.
If that's what you want to do, we could just do it, you know?
We don't have a lot of stuff he wants that we're willing to give up, and he's being incredibly stingy about this shit.
If you're saying...
Unless we have a giant, like, bat to swing, like, a crazy fucking persuasion check or something to rattle him. Like, we're not going to get much further in this without some serious sacrifice.
Scylla's not... Okay, so if you're thinking that you'll just use a timepiece to, like, teleport out, then I think the Cloak of the Mountebank is better.
Sure.
It doesn't get you as far, but it's more guaranteed.
It's also much more obvious.
I
mean, either way, if he has counterspell, you're screwed.
Sure. It was just an idea that
we thought about Draconicide as an answer.
We could
to our problem.
We could, and then we net zero, but like that is an option.
That's true.
Well, it's not net zero if we get the
loot. That loot and that sweet XP.
It's the scabbard for me.
Look at this jeweled sword that I have.
Yeah. Alternatively, we can go find somebody else in the swamp.
You have 2 other leads, potentially.
Yeah.
And he said you could leave and come back.
I do have a question.
Yes.
If you'll forgive the arrogance that I am known for. Why have you not taken the swamp back yet?
The smile kind of comes tight on its lips, which is hard for a black dragon because they're so skeletal anyways, but even in this ghostly form, he goes,
I have enjoyed watching those goblins suffer for evading me for so long. The lizard men will soon crumble and be consumed by their River King. I need only bide my time till all comes back to me.
But you will have done nothing. There's no show of power to make the goblins fear you again. You simply waited for nature to take its course, where you could instead destroy the usurper. You say you're watching the goblins, you're watching the lizard folk. You know all the information. You see the pieces. Take the king.
Sephel, you do not see it. He does not see the board. He sees only the River King. He does not know the corruption he carries. He does not know that he is but the vanguard of an approaching army, that he will soon be beset not by one, but by many. He does not see the door drawing closed. Perhaps we take our war elsewhere.
Ooh. Okay. All right. There's an option here because that was some fucking great shit right there. You can either do a persuasion at advantage with Sephel doing the roll because he was trying to persuade here. Starcaller can attempt to do an intimidation check here.
Oof.
All right,
But
well,
not at advantage for the intimidation.
so let's logic this. The charisma, like, you have charisma in spades, at least compared to me.
But he's never succeeded at an intimidation roll when it mattered.
Well, and the intimidation check is probably going to be a significantly higher DC.
Shit.
And I do not have proficiency in intimidation.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised with that. I would have
I
thought
do-
that'd be something he'd take.
I do have a gamble. I have the knowledge of past lives.
Yeah.
So I could roll the check at advantage and then add my d6 to it. It might have the best chance for success.
Just above the table, what's your charisma score?
I'm flat.
Okay.
It would be a flat roll at advantage plus a d6.
Could be
Mhm.
worse.
If that, or just a +5.
Right.
Is it bad that I'm just seeing the Baldur's Gate 3
I know.
math like
Yeah,
plus
yeah.
1 to 6?
It's your call, dude. You are
Advantage per background.
you are the local charismite.
You got that riz, son.
I mean, listen, you know me. I want to put it all on red.
What are we thinking, party?
That would be my play.
Okay.
You're gonna do it.
I'll do it.
Go for it, King.
Will, can I guide myself?
Stealthily?
If you can pull off a sleight of hand against my passive perception, I'll give it to you.
I'll put it this way. And I'm happy to do the roll, but
Sure.
I view this not as a stealth roll, but as Artemis drawing power from Dawn's Edge as he's speaking. So he's talking and his eyes start to glow. So in this way, it is a obvious magical effect, but it is part of his show.
Do you have thaumaturgy?
I do not.
Because it doesn't, if I'm correct,
It gives you
Doesn't it?
advantage on. Well, I think it gives you a boost to intimidation because you can enhance the voice.
You can make yourself loud. And the Baldur's Gate 3
Yeah.
will grant you advantage on certain charisma rolls.
yeah.
Too bad this ain't Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. Every day of my life, I wake up and that's what I think.
Too bad this ain't BG3.
Yep.
Is there any verbal or somatic components or whatever to guidance?
Verbal and somatic. His voice swells. He clenches his fist.
If you don't want to make it obvious that you're using a spell versus some kind of like natural ability or like a natural strength, I'm going to say do the stealth check. Or the sleight of hand.
Am I still good at those?
Not likely.
No, I've been worse. Yeah, I roll it.
Okay.
I'll sleight of hand it. It's sleight of hand or is it stealth?
It'll be sleight of hand in this.
Or
Or
I'm going to tell you this. The DC for this is high. So I will give you the option of whatever's higher.
he's so nice.
I'll take the stealth then.
Okay.
It's a 14.
It's
not high.
Bruh. Oh, we're gonna fight a dragon.
Do you want to know what the DC was?
30.
15?
24 passive perception.
Jesus. Okay, this tracks though.
Okay. Could have
What
better.
magics
Ow.
do you seek to wield here? What armies do you think would come forth? What is this you speak of?
The end. The trumpeting. The harrowing rays of the abyss is coming. Which will swallow up your swamp along with the rest of Turil. Unless you aid us. Unless you purge the rot at its source.
He was very angry for a moment, but then he pulls back.
Say your abyss is coming. I have time that you don't, as I still reside here in a form that many cannot touch. I just merely have to outlast you and them, and I will gain servants again, and I will kill all who come for me and my horde.
Dagon has no use for your horde. Or for you. But if you think you can outlast the creature that predates the demon lords, then by all means, the floor is yours.
You
Make
think
an intimidation
infested-
check.
At what point did we reach a level where we were like, we can just like man a dragon?
Because respecting him got us shit.
Arguable, but okay.
It didn't get me what I wanted, Will.
That's fair.
15.
Okay.
Leave my home. And when you have lost all other options and you come back to my door pleading like the weak, insignificant insects that you are, be prepared with more gifts and groveling. This will be the one time I kindly let you leave with your lives. Shoo.
I look Starcaller in his eye. What am I seeing?
Oh, it is...
On like
There's a-
Donkey Kong.
There is a full yin-yang in Starcaller's being right now, just like... Kill. And Starcaller will turn, and then he'll look back. We will return, but it will not be us who grovel then. and he starts to pace out while he sees that the dragon takes the bait.
Run, little kitten. Run.
Oh.
We'll tell the River King his bitch said hello.
Yes!
We roll for initiative next episode.
Yes!
You motherfuckers.
Oh no.
Well, you might
We're
find
gonna
yourself.
waste so much time.
But think of the loot, Sam.
The loot.
The loot? Bruh, we're gonna waste all our resources and have to take a long rest, and then like days are gonna go by, man. Jesus.
Hey, the fight against the Abyss is a marathon, not a sprint. You think we're fighting Dagon tomorrow? Calm your ass down.
Do you ever find yourself wondering how you got here? If you are a listener to this here podcast, you can hop onto our Discord and ask, hey, how did we get here? Why do you guys do the things you do? And if that isn't working for you, log on to the email address, themadnessTable@gmail.com, and you can ask us directly. Why did you guys just do that thing that you just did? And we are legally required to answer you in our post-TPK chat. If you like the podcast, consider liking, following, subscribing, or maybe dropping a review in the bucket. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're having a great time, drop a coin to us on our coffee page and tell your cool cousin Jim what's up with the podcast. He needs to know. We'll see you next time.